want to do that. Come here, look at this.
Mike Tyson just decided to absolutely terminate Jake Paul and end this fight completely. Yeah, I know. Finally, some justice in the universe, right? It's like we've all been waiting for this moment, just watching Jake run his mouth non-stop for months, thinking he could trash talk his way through this. But Mike? Nope, he's out to dismantle Jake's entire career, piece by piece. Tyson's not playing around, and honestly, it's the kind of karma we all saw coming. Mike's even got some investigations rolling because apparently knocking Jake out wasn't enough. So, November 15th, 2024 was supposed to be the big day, right? The kind of day that boxing legends are made of. We had the ultimate showdown lined up. Mike Tyson, the guy who used to literally terrify anyone who dared to stand in front of him, versus Jake Paul, who somehow managed to turn being obnoxious on YouTube into a boxing career. This wasn't just any fight. This was about old-school power versus modern-day internet nonsense. People were buzzing like crazy. Fans, haters, everyone wanted to see what would happen when Jake's massive ego collided with Mike's fists of fury.
How important is it to you to prove that you should still be in the ring?
Hey, listen, I'm just ready.
The announcement alone shook up the sports world, like a magnitude 10 earthquake. I mean, social media went insane. People were placing bets, writing thick pieces, throwing up memes faster than Jake could spit out insults. Everyone and their grandmother had an opinion. Would Jake, riding high on his string of weirdly convenient victories, somehow survive? Or would Tyson knock the arrogance right out of him? The excitement was so thick, you could cut it with a butter knife. The memes were glorious, the hashtags were endless, and the debates, man, the debates. You'd think world peace was being decided by the outcome of this fight.
Be in good shape because your health depends on it.
And then there's Jake. Oh, Jake. This guy lives for attention like a plant needs sunlight. He was thriving on it, basking in the glow of all this hype. Fresh off his so-called victories, he was strutting around like a peacock in every interview, in every post. Confidence? Try overconfidence. This guy wasn't just hyping himself up. He was straight up delusional. He was out here mocking Tyson like it was no big deal, questioning if the legend even had it in him anymore. Jake was all, "Oh, Tyson's too old. He's washed up." Like Tyson wasn't about to hand him a first-class ticket to the floor of that boxing ring. He seriously thought he was the future of boxing, ready to knock out the old guard and take the crown. But let me tell you, Tyson wasn't losing sleep over Jake's big mouth. Nah, Mike's been through it all. He's fought the best, destroyed the best, and he wasn't about to let some YouTube kid throw him off. While Jake was busy running his mouth, Tyson was just sitting back, cool as a cucumber, waiting for the right moment to drop the hammer. Tyson wasn't here for the social media circus. He was here to remind the world that even now, in 2024, he's still the guy who can turn out the lights with one punch. When people asked him about Jake's trash talk, Mike didn't even flinch. Now, fast forward to August 18th, 2024, when Tyson walked into that press conference like he owned the place. Because let's be real, he kinda did. And instead of just hyping up the fight like everyone expected, Tyson went full savage. He changed the whole game in a matter of minutes. First, he dropped the bomb. The only way to win this fight would be by knockout. No TKOs, no referee stoppages. Just a straight-up KO. The room. Dead silent for like 3 seconds, then everyone lost their minds. Who does that? Mike freaking Tyson, that's who. This wasn't just some fight, this was about survival. And just when everyone thought they'd heard the last of it, Tyson dropped another grenade. Random drug tests. And not just your regular, run-of-the-mill stuff. This was random, as in, surprise! Time to pee in a cup, buddy. Everyone knew exactly what Tyson was aiming at with that one. Jake Paul, the king of controversy, the guy whose victories always seemed a little too convenient. Tyson was making it crystal clear. No funny business, no cheating, no way out. You want to fight me? You're doing it clean, and you're doing it legit. Now, Jake's had his fair share of sketchy moments in the ring. Those TKOs that just seem to come out of nowhere. The bribery accusations, the rumors that he's been paying off referees like it's a part-time job. Tyson wasn't having any of that nonsense. By scrapping TKOs and throwing in those random drug tests, Mike basically told Jake, "You're gonna have to win this the hard way, and good luck with that." And oh man, you should have seen Jake's face. It was like watching a kid realize they're about to fail a test they didn't study for. The cocky grin, gone, replaced by pure panic. The no TKO rule was enough to rattle him. But the random drug tests, that's when the sweat started pouring. Jake's usual swagger turned into something that looked a lot like fear. Of course, Jake didn't waste any time crying foul. He jumped on social media, faster than a Kardashian during a selfie session, screaming about how unfair this all was. He started pulling out the legal card, whining that Tyson's rule changes were a breach of their contract. But come on, Jake, we all know how this works. You agreed back in March that Tyson got to call the shots. There's no fine print loophole here. You're just mad because the rug's been pulled out from under you. Naturally, the media went wild with this. Headlines everywhere about Jake's little legal crisis, trying to spin it like he was some victim of Tyson's master plan. But anyone who's been paying attention knows Jake's moves by now. When the heat gets too intense, Jake tries to switch the conversation. He dodges, he deflects, he distracts. It's classic Paul tactics. But Tyson, the guy was as chill as ever. He wasn't fazed one bit by Jake's tantrums. Tyson's message was simple. This fight was going to be real, raw, and decisive. No shortcuts, no shady wins. Just two guys in a ring, and only one's walking out as the victor. With tensions between these two cranked up to the max, this fight has gone from big to legendary. Tyson's rule changes have taken this whole thing to another level. It's no longer just about winning. It's about proving who's really got what it takes to stand in that ring. And if you ask me, Jake better hope his fists are as strong as his social media game. Because come November 15th, 2024, Tyson's not pulling any punches.
I'll do whatever, wherever, whenever. I don't give a fuck, so it's all talk.
Tyson's team didn't waste a second jumping into the ring. And I'm not talking about the boxing kind. They came out swinging with a flurry of statements, clearing the air faster than a fan, on full blast. They laid it all out there, making sure everyone understood that Tyson had every right to make those changes. All that drama Jake was stirring up about Tyson rigging the fight. Yeah, Tyson's camp called it exactly what it was. Total, grade A, nonsense. They weren't having any of Jake's games, and they let the world know these rule changes weren't some sneaky ploy. Nope, this was about making the fight as clean as possible. And honestly, the more the truth came to light, the more Jake's whole sob story started to unravel like a cheap sweater. But of course, Jake being Jake, he wasn't going to sit down and take it. Oh no, he doubled down, still trying to paint himself as the victim in all this. He was out here waving his conspiracy flag like he was uncovering some great injustice. But here's the thing. When the details of that March agreement started to leak, it was like watching a house of cards collapse in slow motion. Every piece of evidence just made Jake's story look weaker and weaker. People started to catch on to what was really going down. And spoiler alert, it wasn't Tyson being shady. Nope, it was Jake desperately trying to claw his way out of a fight he probably realized he couldn't win. The more Jake kept yapping, the more obvious it became that his confidence was just a mask for some serious doubt.